and tears. The others will be crowned champions.
Joe Louis Arena has always been synonymous with Red Wings hockey and the greatest players in the NHL, but for the last 3 years, it has also meant the greatest high school wrestling competition the state has to offer as well. It is here where 56 champions will be crowned, and you'll see it on Fox Sports Net. How you doing, everybody? Alongside my partner, Mark Chiarella, a three-time national champion. My name is Matt Shepard. Welcome to the Division I and Division II state championship wrestling competition. And Mark, this event started with nearly 900 wrestlers representing 315 schools. These kids are on the verge of reaching the pinnacle of their high school careers, aren't they?
That's true, Matt. It starts well before they get to Joe Louis Arena. There's district, there's regional competition, then the best of the best make it to Joe Louis Arena. There's many freshmen, sophomore, junior, and senior class members that are looking to have their lifelong dream of becoming a Michigan high school individual state champion.
What does it take to get to this level? The blood, the sweat, the tears, the responsibility, and the sacrifices made not only by players, but also by their families.
There's no question that there's a lot of sacrifice that's involved in competing in the sport of wrestling. Michigan high school wrestling is no different. There's a lot of top quality wrestlers, there's a lot of top quality competition, and we look for the best to happen here. We start out with 275 pounders at the heavyweight division. Then we immediately go down to the smallest class, 103 pounds. Then to 112, 119, 125, 130, 135, 140 pounds, 145, 152, 160, 171, 189, and finish with the 215-pound wrestlers.
A lot of championship matches on tap for us here on Fox Sports Net. Let's get right to it. First, the big fellas, 275 pounds.
Jack Gittler of Berkeley hoping to follow up his state title in the discus with his first wrestling crown. He's up against Granville sophomore Ryan Gritter, who makes his first ever appearance in the state tournament.
We pick up the action in the second period with Gittler leading 1-0. Gritter shoots a high single leg and changes off to a strong double leg finish to score the first takedown of the match and take a 2-1 lead. Gritter starts the third period in the bottom position. Gritter hits a stand-up, changes off from a single to a double leg, and finishes with an inside trip to score a 2-point reversal. Leading 4-3, Gritter shoots a high single leg and lifts Gittler off the mat to score the final takedown of the match.
So Gritter wins it 6-5 to become the Division I 275-pound champion. Let's take you to Division II. Also, the heavyweights. This time, Fenton's John Herstein hoping to head for Wayne State with the title in tow. He's up against Jim Bunn of Heartland, who hopes for the same as he makes his way to Saginaw Valley State University next year.
Let's start in the second period with Herstein leading 2-1. Herstein clamps on to Bunn with a powerful bear hug to score a takedown and increase his lead to 4-1. Bunn gets right back in the match, scoring a 1-point escape with a solid stand-up. With 14 seconds remaining in the match, Bunn trailing 4-3 goes for broke with a chest-to-chest throw attempt that is countered by Herstein, who scores the final takedown of the match.
That allows Herstein to double up Bunn 6-3 and win the Division II 275-pound crown. Let's go to Division I, 103-pound championship on the line, boasting a couple of sophomores with 50 wins on the year. Randy Vanderveen of East Kentwood and top-ranked Josh Chiarella from Novi. Mark, this guy follows like his old man. He's a shoo-in, right?
I don't know about that. He's the youngest one of three. We'll see how he does. Chiarella starts his attack in the first period with a low single leg and hits a strong dump finish to take an early 2-point lead. Leading 3-0 in the second period, Chiarella counters Vanderveen's single leg and scores another 2-point takedown. In the third period, Chiarella shoots a lightning-fast low single and finishes out the back door to score the takedown and increase his lead to 7-1.
All right, that's just how you planned it, right, Mark?
Absolutely.
All right, Josh Chiarella winning the Division I 103-pound class. To Division II, again, 103-pound championship on the line. This time it's Brian Nguyen advancing to his first ever final as a freshman And representing Warren Fitzgerald, he battled his junior Tony Greathouse of Mason.
Greathouse gets off to a quick start in the first period with a fireman's carry finishing out the back door to score a 2-point takedown. McEwen comes right back with a stand-up short sit-out combination to score a 1-point escape, closing the score to 2-1. Greathouse goes back on the offensive with an ankle pick low single combination to score another takedown. Greathouse, with a 7-1 lead in the second period, works a near-wrist half Nelson combination to take McEwen to his back and scores a fall at 3 minutes 2 seconds of the second period.
So Tony Greathouse with the pin wins the 103-pound Division II championship. Back to Division I, the 112-pound weight class has Ryan Beach of Walled Lake Western with 112 wins, seeking his first individual state medal.
Nate Garcia was unable to make weight after his semifinal match, so Beach captures this year's state title at 112 pounds by forfeit.
Not the way he wanted to win it, but a championship is still a championship. To Division II, the 112-pound weight class, Phil Schaefer of Mount Pleasant trying to avoid a second straight runners-up title against Lowell sophomore Brandon Kinney, who boasts 100 career wins and a 55-0 record this season.
In the second period, with the score tied at 0, Kenny scores the first point of the match with a quick sit-out. Later in the second period, Kinney shoots a double-leg takedown, and Schaefer counters with an awesome chin whip and scores a 2-point takedown. Leading 3-1 in the third period, Schaefer catches Kenny in a front headlock whip over and scores a 2-point takedown.
Phil Schaefer picks up the win, his 112-pound Division II championship, his first of his career, and he feels good about his efforts at the Joe Louis Arena. 6 champions have been crowned so far. Team championships were crowned earlier in the season, including Lapeer West. When we come back, we'll take a look at their program as our coverage of the MHSAA Wrestling Championship from Joe Louis Arena continues on Fox Sports Net after this.
Hockeytown Cafe is the place to catch all the Wings games on our big screen TVs. And if you have a ticket to the game, be sure to take advantage of our free shuttle to the Joe. We're on Woodward next to the Fox Theater. The Hockeytown Cafe, where the Red Wings play.
You can't predict.
Farm Bureau Insurance, making your future more predictable. By Little Caesars and by Olympia Entertainment.
For months, for some kids for years, it has been a lifelong dream for them to get to this level. It is the pinnacle of the State High School Wrestling Association, and it takes place at Joe Louis Arena only here on Fox Sports Net. Welcome back. It is very difficult to repeat as a champion in any sport, especially in the sport of wrestling. Lapeer West has done it for a second straight year. This is a team that is maybe the best team overall, no matter what division.
The only thing I ever ask a wrestler to do is give me 100%. And I will tell a kid that in life you're not going to succeed every time you try something. But there is no excuse for not giving 100%. And every kid in this team knows that if he gives me 100%, he can walk up that mat and look me in the eye and I'll give him a big hug.
It takes a lot of hard work out of every kid in the room, even the JV kids. It takes a lot of hard work because they got to keep working hard just to give all the starters and all the other kids just to give them a good workout. It's a lot of dedication, and all the kids work after practice. Some kids stay after practice. They go up to the recreational center and work out there, and they do a lot on their own too. So that's really helped the team out a lot.
I try to scream things that I know that my teammates could use, or stuff that I know that'll work, and they're not doing.
Winning or losing is not the issue. The issue is trying your best. Because in life you're going to fail many, many times. But if you try your best, you'll succeed in the long run. And that's the lesson that we try to teach these kids.
Be a team player, team sport, and kind of support everybody and not just think about yourself. Wrestling's not just individual, it's team too.
There is no drinking, there's no smoking, there's no drugs. Kids know that we demand superior academics on the club. And they know that all of that is part of winning a state championship team. Our kids know that if they go on the ineligibility list, for example, that they're not affecting themselves, they're affecting 40 brothers. Same thing that if they're lazy in practice or they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing in practice, they know they're not letting themselves down, they're letting down 40 brothers. And these kids really believe that they are brothers.
Everyone being a family, everyone on our team staying close together, and just we do everything together. I mean, a lot of kids come to our house after meets. None of our kids are into drugs or anything like that, so it's just that much better.
Lapeer West, one of the more successful programs in the entire state, and Mark, it really starts when they're young. They have a little Raptors program, then it continues on to junior high. Obviously, something's working well for Lapeer West.
Well, the feeder system they have is an outstanding one, and their youth program is one of the best in the state. I think that by the time they get to high school, they're really ready to compete.
Well, that's why they were able to compete here at Joe Louis Arena and be so successful in doing so. More competition from the JLA on Fox Sports Net comes your way right after this.
Have my pizza ready when I get there. Hey, make it free.
Like waves of pride and glory, and when pain's the only story, we know the tears you're concealing. You know we know the feeling.
Welcome back to Joe Louis Arena. Fox Sports Net's continuing coverage of the MHSAA Wrestling Championships at the Division I and Division II level. Let's get right back to it. At the Division I 119-pound class, it pits a couple of athletes who finished fourth last year. Troy High's student body president Nick Best against undefeated Brad Kuzmano from Utica.
We pick up the action midway in the first period. Kuzmano gets on the scoreboard first with a sharp double leg takedown to score the first 2 points of the match. After Best scores an escape to close the gap to 1, Kuzmano converts another powerful double leg takedown to make the score 4-1. With 1 minute 30 seconds remaining in the second period, Best fights to stay in the match and works off the bottom with a stand-up and scores a 1-point escape.
Kuzmano wins it 4-2 to capture the Division I 119-pound crown. To Division II, same weight class. A couple of juniors will settle this Division II championship. Fenton's Lambros Catalis, who won it all at 112 pounds just a year ago, against Ian DeRath from Lowell, who's lost just once all season long, Mark.
In the second period, with the match tied at 0, DeRath takes the lead, working a body scissors into a guillotine to score a 3-point near fall. DeRath gets too high with his leg ride, and Catalis reverses him for 2 points, making the score 3-2. In the third period, with DeRath leading 4-2, Catalis shoots a double leg and changes off to a single. Fights for nearly 25 seconds and scores the takedown to tie the match at 4-4. With 15 seconds remaining in the third period, DeRath hits a switch to score the match-winning reversal.
Exciting match right there. Some of those moves sound dangerous too, but dangerous enough for Ian DeRath to capture the 119-pound Division II championship. The 125-pound Division I class showcases two seniors. Kyle Klooster of Grand Haven, who finished third a year ago, goes up against Holt's Jack Scott, who's never finished better than fifth until now.
Scott goes to work immediately in the first period with a great double leg shot to take an early 2-0 lead. After Klooster scores an escape to narrow the lead to 1, Scott continues his attack on his feet, scoring a rock-solid double leg takedown. In the second period, Scott scores a 1-point escape and immediately shoots another blistering double leg takedown to extend his lead to 7-1. Late in the third period, Klooster counters Scott's double leg attempt and scores a takedown with a front headlock throw by.
Too little too late for Kyle Klooster, though. Jack Scott wins it 8-4 and wins the Division I 125-pound crown. On to Division II, the 125-pound crown. Phil Plowman of Lakewood, Lake Odessa, has gotten better each year in this tournament and now wrestles Jason Fellows of Lapeer West for the 125-pound championship. Mark?
Fellows shoots a tenacious single leg and changes off to a double leg finish to score a 2-point takedown in the first period. Plowman comes right back, scoring a 2-point reversal with a risky high leg step over. With the match tied in the second period at 2, Fellows scores a 2-point takedown with an excellent low single leg attack. Leading 4-2 in the third period, Fellows hits an outstanding Granby roll to score a 2-point reversal.
So Fellows able to pull away at the end and wins the 125-pound Division II championship. The 130-pound weight class in Division I has Davison's Chase Metcalf and his perfect season battling regional champ Mike Sherman of Belleville.
We pick up the match in the second period with Metcalf dominating the match 11-4. Metcalf scores a takedown with an outstanding low single and immediately goes on the attack, scoring a near fall with an over-the-body armbar and finishes with a tight front headlock. In the third period, leading 15-4, Metcalf continues his relentless attack on Sherman with a front headlock whip over, scoring yet another impressive takedown. Metcalf counters Sherman's single leg takedown attempt and scores the final points of the match.
Big win for him. Chase Metcalf, the 130-pound Division I champion after the 23-8 decision. Fowlerville's Bill Devine wrestles for the 130-pound crown in Division II after winning the freestyle championship. He'll have to beat 3-time qualifier Bart Rizzo of Plainwell.
In the first period, trailing 2-1, Devine shoots a great high single leg and scores a 2-point takedown, gaining a 3-2 lead. With the score 5-3 in the second period, Rizzo catches Devine in a guillotine and scores a near fall. Devine slips out of the punishing move and reverses Rizzo, taking him directly to his back. Devine scores the fall.
Just the way he planned it, Bill Devine of Fowlerville pins Bart Rizzo of Plainwell at the 5:08 mark and wins the Division II 130-pound championship. Well, plenty more to come here at Joe Louis Arena. You know, there are more than 25 sets of brothers in this tournament wrestling for top honors. We break down a few of them and talk with them as our continuing coverage from Joe Louis Arena on Fox Sports Net rolls on after this.
Have my pizza ready when I get there. Hey.
Here over the last 4 years, and today Joe Louis Arena will be remembered as the ultimate wrestling experience for 56 state champions. You know, there are more than 20 sets of brothers strapping on their wrestling headgears with the hope of standing atop the podium at day's end with a state championship title. For them and their parents, wrestling is more than just a sport. It's a family affair. High school wrestling in Michigan can be described as a family event where coaches are fathers and fathers become coaches. Family and friends are there too, watching from a distance, cheering their sons on to victory. A sport like wrestling takes discipline, courage, and attitude. It's an individual sport, yes, but it is also a team sport. But in a game where advantage is crucial to victory, some kids have a little extra help in their corner. A teammate, a brother.
We're pretty close. I think. We do a lot together. We spend a lot of time together, hang out a lot. We wrestle a lot together. I mean, when we're just at home messing around, we still just roll around, wrestle around, just messing around. Yeah, we spend a lot of time together too, outside of practice, and we hang out with each other.
We're real close brothers, and I think that helps too. Just throughout the year, because it's such a tough sport and long sport, that we know each other so good. And it seems like we don't fight as much in season because we're all usually cutting weight and a lot more tired than in the off season.
We practice during the summer, and if there's nobody to work with me, he'll work with me, wrestle around with me, so I'll be able to hone my skills a little bit better. But most of the time, he just takes it to me. Trying to keep up with him is pretty much the hardest thing. I mean, he's so good. He got so good real quick, and I think I've only placed higher than in one tournament my high school career, so he's tough, and he works hard every day.
The last 2 years, I've been the little brother on the team, so it's kind of nice to be the big brother and boss him around a little bit and tell him to get in gear when he's slacking off or something. It's kind of fun.
Wrestling coaches understand what it takes to win, and they understand the sacrifices their athletes make. And for brothers, they know having someone close to you on your team may make those sacrifices just a little easier to handle.
Wrestling can bring a family together, very, very much so. You know, you sacrifice a lot. These kids sacrifice a lot. Their weekends, going out with their buddies, food. You know, it's wrestling's a very tough sport, and to make it through it, it's a long season, and to make it through it, you got to stick together. You got to be able to, hey, when things are down and you're not in the best mood, you can go to someone that understands that.
Regular brothers argue, compete, and sometimes they even wrestle for fun.
Sometimes we fight. It's all right. I mean, we get along. We do a lot of things together, and for the most part, it's pretty good. I practice with him, and sometimes I take him down. I think that motivates him to hurt me a little bit more.
Well, they're typical brothers. I mean, there's times where they're fighting, not getting along, but on the wrestling mat, you won't see, you'll see them cheering one another on. You know, it's never a bickering thing. Once they're on the mat, they're cheering each other on.
It will come as no surprise that human nature soon takes over in a sport so grueling and so challenging as wrestling. When one brother watches another battling on the mat, emotions flow quickly.
Yeah, I always knew he'd be a wrestler just because he's been that grinding and tough kid ever since he's little, because he's always the youngest one on our block. But I get more nervous for him than when I'm wrestling. And after his match, I'm not even really that nervous anymore for myself. So it kind of helps in that factor that watching his match doesn't make me as nervous.
Well, some will be successful, some won't. We do know that a successful bloodline is right here. The Torella family, your two sons. Talk about them making it to the state championship matches and how much pride you have.
Well, I'm very proud, obviously, as a father and a coach that both boys wrestle, and they both made it to the Michigan State finals. It's not just being at the finals. It's really talking about what happens with the entire family, not just our family, but the 28 others that are part of brothers that are in this tournament.
Yeah, no question about it. You talk about brothers, you talk about siblings, parents, your grandparents, or their grandparents, I should say. This is really a family affair, isn't it?
There's no question it's a family affair. There's many, many people that are here in this crowd that are all related to somebody that's wrestling. It's probably one of the uniquenesses in wrestling, a close-knit family, almost a fraternal organization.
An awful lot of pride felt here inside Joe Louis Arena. Stick around. More wrestling comes your way. You don't want to go away. We've got it coming to you from Joe Louis Arena on Fox Sports Net in a moment.
Ships. Here on Fox Sports Net, we're at Division I, the 135-pound class. Joe Whitman of Davison tries to follow up his 2 cross-country state titles with a wrestling one. Romeo's Dan Siedzik is the man trying to deny him and claim his first-ever state crown.
We pick up the action in the first period with Siedzik leading 2-1. Whitman hits a solid high-crouch takedown to grab a 3-2 lead. Siedzik elects to begin the second period on his feet. Trailing by 1 point, Siedzik counters Whitman's high crotch attempt and catches Whitman with a super tight spladle. Siedzik pins Whitman in 2 minutes 12 seconds of the second period.
Big win for Dan Siedzik of Romeo, capturing the Division I 135-pound championship. Bubba Gingrich of Lowell goes for the 135-pound title in Division II. He's up against senior Aaron Beach of Jackson Northwest, who lost just once in 48 tries this year, Mark.
Beach starts off quickly with a great fireman's carry takedown to score the first 2 points of the match. Beach adds to his lead in the second period with a tenacious half Nelson that takes Gingrich to his back for a 2-point near fall. In the third period, Beach shoots a double leg and scores another 2-point takedown to take a commanding 8-1 lead.
So Aaron Beach of Jackson Northwest wins at 8-3 in the 135-pound Division II championship. 2 state champions from last season wrestle for the 140-pound Division I crown. Joe Zolnay is the defending champion from Holt. Justin Sinclair of Grand Rapids Forest Hill Central moves up a class after winning the 135-pound class just a year ago.
Halfway into the first period, Zolnay scores a 2-point takedown with a solid high crotch shot. Sinclair, trailing 6-0 in the third period, is unable to get any offense going. With 41 seconds remaining in the match, Sinclair receives his final caution for stalling. Zolnay wins the match by disqualification.
Boy, tough way to end two great seasons for two great athletes, but Joe Zolnay of Holt wins it. 140-pound Division I championship, his second straight title. Lowell's Calabo Boyle is hoping the fourth time's the charm in his quest for a championship at the 140-pound Division II level. He's undefeated in 57 matches this year. He'll go up against Eaton Rapids junior Matt Cataline, a runner-up a year ago.
After a scoreless first period, O'Boyle scores the first point of the match in the second period with a solid stand-up escape. With 30 seconds remaining in the third period, Cataline works to his feet and throws O'Boyle with an awesome whizzer whip, scoring a 2-point reversal to take the lead in the match.
And that was good enough to give him the 2-1 decision. Matt Cataline of Eaton Rapids wins the 140-pound Division II championship. Brighton record holder Leif Olson, a runner-up in 2000, goes for the Division I 145-pound crown, but he's up against Novi's Ryan Chirella, who's hoping to cap off a perfect season with his second straight championship, become Novi's first ever back-to-back championship, and follow in his younger brother's footsteps, who's already won a crown earlier today, Mark.
Leif Olson and Ryan Chirella, two great kids that have competed against each other several times already this year. Olson goes on the attack with a low single-leg takedown. Chirella counters the single-leg takedown attempt and shoots a solid single leg and hits a dump finish, changing off to a double leg, scoring the first 2 points of the match. In the second period, Chirella extends his lead to 3, scoring a strong stand-up escape. Chirella goes on the attack with an outstanding high-crotch shot, extending his lead over Olson to 5. In the third period, Chirella counters Olson's high-crotch attempt with a strong spin-by crossface combination to score the final takedown of the match.
A dominating performance by Ryan Chirella. Mark, obviously you're very proud, becoming Novi's first ever back-to-back champion.
His undefeated season and his outstanding performance in the finals, I'm very proud.
You should be. Division I champion at the 145-pound weight class, Ryan Chirella. Same weight class, Division II this time. It pits top-rated James Kish of Lapeer West, a title holder at 140 pounds last year, and he's up against Fenton's Mike Pickover.
Kish goes right on the attack in the first period with a double leg takedown. Leading 4-1 in the first period, Kish works a tenacious armbar wing combination on Pickover to score a 3-point near fall. Kish adds to his lead in the second period, scoring a takedown with a single leg to a powerful throw-by finish for 2 points.
And he's able to finish off Mike Pickover with no problem. He wins it 14-1 to capture another championship, this time at the 145-pound class in Division II. All right, when we come back, a closer look at one of the finest wrestling programs in all the state. Temperance Bedford won another Division I state championship. We'll find out more about them in a moment.
In a weight class title. And welcome back. A lot of folks get here inside Joe Louis Arena. They get the crowd around them, and suddenly they get a little intimidated. The school probably most comfortable, Temperance Bedford.
Our goals as far as what the team accomplishes is always the same. Bill Regnier started this program 30 years ago, 35 years, 36 years ago now, and they've brought it to a level that every year we want to be state champs, and every year we're in the hunt for the state championship. Last year we got beat in the semis. The year before we won that. The year before that, runner-ups, and the year before that we were in the semis. So we're there all the time. We always put that out front. And these kids last year, they went undefeated other than the one loss in the state tournament, won all their tournaments. We lost in the semis, and it was disappointing. We felt like we didn't accomplish what we needed to do. So, I mean, we set our goals really high, and every kid expects to make them happen.
We pull together as a family. We can all feel how everybody's doing. We know if someone's wrestling the best and if they're not wrestling the best, and we can cheer for them as much as we can and bring them back up. so that they can wrestle as good as they can.
Each one of these kids care about each other. Each one cares about the program. We'll get into a situation, Chad Diddy, our 19-pounder, could have wrestled in the individual, but he preferred to just wrestle in the team. He was hurt, and he could have possibly done the individual too, but he said, I can do better for the team if I don't.
We all support each other at all times and make sure that no one gets down, because if one person gets down, they'll drag other people down, and by pulling them up, we act as a team together, and I'll make sure that we come out on top.
We got up at 6:45 or 6:30 this morning, and we ran this morning to get ready for this. Our kids are willing to sacrifice. They're willing to pay the price. They understand. We're always talking about that if you do the right thing, if you pay for it in advance, that something good will come out of it.
We have 4 captains, and we 4 come together, and we talk about if there's someone that's down that we need to bring up. We talk about that if someone's hurt, situations in the wrestling room, like if someone's not getting along, things like that. We need to make sure we're all working together, all friendly, so we don't have any kind of fights, and everybody's working as hard as they can.
We've got talented kids like Justin. We've got average kids. We've got some kids that have very little talent. We've got kids with tremendous heart, good, smart kids. We've got some tough kids that we have to discipline and do some things with. So we're such a big program. We've probably got about 55 kids in the program, plus another 25 girls. So we're going to have a mixture of everything.
Oh, the Mules have been kicking for a long time at 11 state championships. How do they keep doing it year after year, Mark?
Well, it's really amazing, but Bill Regnier was the head coach there for many, many years. Denny Brighton stepped right in just a few years ago and has carried on the tradition.
I guarantee you no one makes fun of their school's nickname, not when you got a wrestling program like Temperance Bedford. All right, when we come back, the wrestling continues at Joe Louis Arena on Fox Sports Net. Stick around.
The MHSAA Individual Wrestling Finals are brought to you in part by Wallside Windows, most referred, most preferred, and by Bell Tire. Nobody comes close. Nobody's closer. The Slugger returns. Gonzalez and the Indians. Higginson and the Tigers. Thursday at 6:30 on Fox Sports Net.
It's Wrestling Town. State champions being crowned left and right here at Joe Louis Arena, and you're only seeing it here on Fox Sports Net. We take you to Division I, the 152-pound championship on the line. Zamwar Pittman from Flint Carmen Ainsworth seeks his second straight 152-pound title and third straight overall. He's up against Tommy Garza of Southgate Anderson, the school record holder for most takedowns.
Pittman goes on the offense in the first period with a double leg into a bear hug and finishes with a solid body lift to score the first takedown of the match. Garza, trailing 4-3 in the second period, counters Pittman's body lock throw to score a takedown and grab the lead 5-4. With the score tied at 5, Garza again is able to counter Pittman's body lock throw attempt and takes the lead again 7-5. Pittman, trailing in the third period, unleashes a powerful double leg into a lateral drop finish, scoring a 2-point takedown and 3-point near fall.
Big comeback win for Zamwar Pittman, who wins the 152-pound Division I championship for the second straight year. A couple of seniors strapping it on in the 152-pound Division II weight class. Jeff Stevens of Mason, who finished second last year, versus 3-time regional champ James Christie, who set the Battle Creek Lakeview record for wins in a season.
In the first period, Christie finishes a good single-leg takedown to score 2 points and immediately gets busy on top, catching Stevens with a Navy ride near-wrist turn, score a 3-point near fall. Trailing 7-0 in the second period, Stevens gets on the scoreboard using a quarter Nelson to gain a reversal. In the third period, Stevens starts in the bottom position, scoring a 1-point escape with a Granby roll, closing the gap to 7-3.
Too little too late, though. James Christie of Battle Creek Lakeview wins it 8-5 to capture the 152-pound crown in Division II. At Division I, the 160-pound record on the line, it's Hudsonville's Brandon Shuck, an all-state football player, up against Livonia Stevenson's all-time leader in wins, Imad Karbouche.
Harbush wasted no time in the first period, immediately scoring the first 2-point takedown of the match with a powerful single leg with a body lift finish. Harbush works a near-wrist crotch lift combination on Shook to score a 2-point near fall, extending his lead to 4. In the second period, leading 9-2, Harbush counters Shook's headlock takedown attempt and almost scores a near fall. Harbush continues his offensive barrage in the third period with an overpowering double leg shot, scoring yet another takedown.
And Harbush would roll from there, winning it 13-4 in the 160-pound Division I championship. A pair of regional champs square off for bragging rights in the 160-pound class of Division II. Luke French of Matawan and Chelsea's George Fairley.
Fairley fights off French's takedown attempt and comes back with a great high crotch to score the first 2 points of the match. In the second period, Fairley goes on the attack with a wicked cross-face cradle, scoring a 3-point near fall to extend his lead to 5-0. Fairley continues his relentless offensive attack on top, scoring a 2-point near fall with a powerful crossbody crossface Turk combination.
Yeah, Fairley very impressive in this one, Mark. He wins it 9-1 to capture the 160-pound Division II championship. Matt McCartney tries to better his second-place finish in 2000 with a 171-pound Division I title over Catholic Central's Ryan Rogowski, who helped the Shamrocks to a football championship in the fall that you saw right here on Fox Sports Net.
We pick up the action in the second period with McCartney leading 1-0. McCartney shoots a single leg and changes off to a double leg finish to score the takedown and extend his lead to 3-0. Late in the second period, Rogowski explodes off the bottom with a strong stand-up to score a 1-point escape. With the score tied at 3 late in the third period, McCartney scores a hard-fought takedown with a commanding front headlock throw-by combination to take the lead 5-3.
And that's how it would end right there, Mark. McCartney beats Rogowski 5-3 for 171-pound Division I bragging rights. Undefeated All-American Roger Kish from Lapeer West aims for his second consecutive state crown, this time in the 171-pound Division II class. He's opposed by Andy Boynton of East Grand Rapids.
Kish wasted no time, scoring a 2-point takedown and 3-point near fall, which started 1 second into the first period with an outstanding fireman's carry. Later in the first period, leading 9-3, Kish hits a powerful cross-body single leg to score another 2-point takedown. In the second period, Kish hits a huge double leg takedown, lifting Boynton off the mat and taking him directly to his back with a right-hand half Nelson combination. Kish pins Boynton in 2 minutes 45 seconds of the second period.
Roger Kish proving why everyone believes he's an All-American out of Lapeer West. Roger Kish, the 171-pound Division II champion. All right, more wrestling coming your way. We still have 4 more champions to be crowned at the Division I and Division II level. We'll continue our coverage from Joe Louis Arena right after this. The 189-pound class, Clint Salisbury tries to follow up a team title with Temperance Bedford with an individual crown over unbeaten Bobby Everett of Saline.
After a scoreless first period, Salisbury breaks the deadlock in the second period, scoring 1 point with a stand-up escape. Everett takes the lead with a strong high crotch takedown. Salisbury comes right back with a flurry of moves to score a 2-point reversal just as the second period ending, making the score 3-2.
No points scored in the third period, so that means Clint Salisbury holds off Bobby Everett and wins the 189-pound Division I championship 3-2. A couple of juniors will settle the 189-pound Division II score. John Dickerson of Eaton Rapids and Joe Urisic, who last year finished 4th with Battle Creek, Harper Creek.
We pick up the match in the second period with Dickerson leading 3-1. Urisic attempts a double leg takedown, and Dickerson counters with a quick go behind to score another 2-point takedown. Dickerson stays on the attack in the second period with a good single leg takedown to score another 2 points, increasing his lead to 7-2. In the third period, Jurisic makes a valiant comeback attempt, scoring a 2-point takedown with an outstanding lateral drop throw, closing the lead to 7-5.
But his comeback falls short. John Dickerson able to edge Joe Jurisic for the 189-pound Division II championship, the final 9-7. The final wrestling match in Division I. At the 215-pound weight class, it pits Eric Vanderhorst of Granville. He's grappling with All-American freestyler Spencer Nadolski of Holland, West Ottawa.
We pick up the action in the third period with a score tied at 0. Vanderhorst is given a warning for stalling, and Nadolski is awarded 1 point to take the lead. Nadolski cuts Vanderhorst loose and ties the score 1-1. With 15 seconds remaining in the third period, both wrestlers are warned for stalling, and Nadolski is awarded 1 point to take a 2-1 lead.
Wow, so he wins based off 2 warnings and 2 points awarded to him, so he wins the 215-pound championship. Have you ever seen something like that before?
It happens, but it doesn't happen often.
Wow, I tell you what, that's a tough way to win it and a tougher way to lose it. But Spencer Nadolski of Holland, West Ottawa, your 215-pound Division I champion. Final match in Division II, Willie Breyer of Oxford wrestles for a perfect campaign and the 215-pound championship. He's up against Brad Perry of Muskegon Mona Shores.
We pick up the action in the second period with Breyer leading 1-0. Breyer shoots a freight train double leg and scores a 2-point takedown. In the third period, Breyer uses an awesome crossface, switches to a half Nelson, and pins Perry.
So an impressive way to finish up the season for Willie Breyer of Oxford, winning via the pin at the 5:19 mark, and he captures the Division II 215-pound crown. Let's take a look back at all the crown bearers now. After this, at the Joe Louis Arena and the MHSAA Wrestling Championships in Division I. At the 275-pound class, Ryan Gritter of Granville won at 6'5" over Jack Gittler of Berkeley. Josh Chirella from Novi picked up the 103-pound crown. Ryan Beach of Walled Lake Western is your 112-pound champion. Brad Kuzmano of Utica is the crown bearer at 119 pounds. Jack Scott of Holt won the 125-pound division, while at 130 pounds, Chase Metcalf of Davison won that one. Dan Siedzik of Romeo is your 135-pound champion. Joe Zolme of Holt is the same at 140 pounds. Ryan Chirella is another champion from Novi and the first ever in that school's history to win it back-to-back titles. He did it at the 145-pound class. Zemwar Pittman is a 3-time champion. Second straight year he's won it at the 152-pound class. Imad Karbush of Livonia Stevenson captured the championship at the 160-pound weight class, while at 171 pounds, Matt McCartney boasts championship honors from Roseville. Clint Salisbury of Temperance Bedford won the 189-pound class, and Spencer Nadolski won it in the 215-pound weight division. The champions from Division II, John Herstein in the heavyweight division, got things rolling here at the Joe Louis Arena in the 275-pound weight class. Tony Greathouse of Mason captured the 103-pound honors, while Phil Schaefer from Mount Pleasant did the same in the 112-pound division. In 119 pounds, the best man in the state in Division II is Ian Durath. Jason Fellows from Lapeer West is the same at 125 pounds. Bill Devine from Fowlerville captured the 130-pound crown. And at 135 pounds, it's Aaron Beach from Jackson Northwest. Matt Cataline from Eaton Rapids defeated Calabo Boyle from Lowell in a very tight 2-1 match, and he wins the 140-pound Division II championship. James Kish of Lapeer West was an impressive winner at the 145-pound weight class. James Christie from Battle Creek Lakeview is your champion at 152 pounds in Division II. George Fairley from Chelsea is the same at the step up, the 160-pound level. Roger Kish capped off a perfect season from Lapeer West, winning at the 171-pound level. John Dickerson from Eaton Rapids was an impressive winner in the 189-pound class, and Willie Breyer of Oxford pins Brad Perry of Muskegon Mona Shores to win the 215-pound Division II championship.
We have seen 28 champions crowned combined in Division I and Division II. It's been an exciting tournament, Mark. I think people got their money's worth. Don't you agree?
No question, Matt. Not only did they get their money's worth, but they were allowed to see 28 young men realize their dream to become a Michigan individual high school state wrestling champion.
Folks, we hope you enjoyed our coverage as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. For Mark Chiarella, my name is Matt Shepard. Have a great rest of the year and keep following wrestling at the Michigan High School State Championship level.